And me and Joe are live. We're a bunch of liars. We said we weren't streaming today, but here we are. Nomad Tech
Speak for
Project.
yourself.
Joe, what do you got going on? Why is your thing fell?
I know. My little tripod fell over.
Well, I was out with the wife today. We're at the Missouri Botanical Gardens, so I didn't think I was going to make it in time. So I saw Joe's post about the X space. So I was like, we got some time. So we'll jump on. So for those of you who were, getting into stuff for your Saturday your Sunday afternoon, well, so we threw you a little curveball. So we're here. We're actually streaming. So yeah, good times. So lighting's a little different. Did you turn? It's like darker. Did you turn the light? I guess you forgot to turn the light on in your room there, or is it just
no? The light's on. Lights on.
It just looks
might be the location of this.
Yeah, might be.
Maybe.
That's okay. Looks good.
So how was your visit to the Botanical Gardens?
It was cool. It's a really good. They were doing, today was the last day of. I'm not sure you'd probably be familiar with it because I think it's in Washington State. It's called the Choluli exhibit. They're like glass, like colored. Like you saw some of the pictures I took. So what they did was they're large exhibits. So they weren't. What was kind of neat is they didn't put them all in one spot like an exhibition. Yeah. They kind of put them throughout the garden, like in all the areas around the garden, so you can kind of see where it was. There's like a Japanese garden and then some an Ottoman area and everything like that. So it's pretty good. So yeah, it was pretty cool. When she wanted to leave, and I'm thinking, well, it's in St. Louis, so it's it's an hour drive from my house, and so I'm thinking, well, an hour there, enjoy the garden, and an hour back, I probably weren't going to make it in time. So it's all good. So I got it, but I got 10 minutes ago, and then here I am. So I figured, what the hell? Since we don't plan anything, it wasn't like
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those situations where we're planning on something and then we had to scrap it. I literally created the space, jumped on, and did all that stuff. So it was good. And yes, there is an Ottoman garden at the Botanical Garden, and me and some sultans created it about 1200 AD. So it was pretty cool, right? It's before St. Louis was even a thing. I'm just kidding. Yeah, there is it's really cool. It's a neat setup. They have a lot of, the Climatron, and they have it's really kind of cool. It's one of those things in St. Louis that it's really kind of nice just walking around. I find it to be kind of it's nice because you can just walk around in the garden area, and today was a nice, cool, kind of chilly, little windy day, so it wasn't cold, but if you're outside for like 25 minutes or so, you'd start to get a little chilly, so it was kind of nice.
It's much colder here.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's not near freezing, is it? It's like, I guess, a couple degrees.
No, it's about 6 degrees.
That's not terrible. But what is that? But mid 40s Fahrenheit? That's not terrible.
It's pretty typical.
Pretty typical for mid-October in the UK, right?
Yeah, it has, to be fair. It was just that last week was quite nice. And then, and it goes from nice to cold that quick.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I did have a lot of fun. It's actually nice just to walk around. I wouldn't call it fun necessarily. I would call it really like just kind of neat and relaxing. And the exhibits were pretty cool. Like to see all the Choluli stuff, because I think that's generally in Washington State, I believe, is where it normally is, or where the artist is. So it's something that travels, and it was a really kind of limited thing. So a friend of mine gave us tickets to it. She's a member at the garden, and so
cool.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was a good time. So I didn't have much time to change. This is what I wore, so I just kind of kept it on. Of course, the Bears lost again today, because why would they win 2 games in a row? Yeah, seriously. Did anybody think they were going to win 2 in a row? No. They at least, to be fair, they only lost by 6, so it wasn't like, they got their head kicked in. But again, it's fine. Yeah,
so you took your Pixel 4 XL, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of felt bad because I really wish I would have taken all 3 of my phones. I wanted to take the Fold 5 and the Fold 5 and then my OnePlus 10 Pro, but I just grabbed the Pixel XL before XL, just like, I'm going to take a look. And I didn't even think about doing any kind of comparison. I just want to see, I'm going to take some pictures. I want to see how this thing holds up. Well, it's been 4.5 years or so since the Pixel 4 XL came out.
Still got it.
Did pretty good. I was impressed. Even Becky some of the shots, and she has an iPhone 12.
Yeah.
And she took some, and it's funny to see on the iPhone. Usually the iPhone has like never has an oversaturated look to it, and compared to the 4XL, it's oversaturated. It's kind of interesting to see the two shots side by side.
Yeah, the 4XL is quite natural looking, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I still love that's still a great device. I did notice that I tried to open maps because I was trying to think about. I was looking outside for another road outside there, and it wouldn't open. It just
Oh,
kind of
really?
hung. Oh yeah, I think it had to be some kind of a network thing because when I went inside, had better connectivity. It fired right up. So I think it was having a problem launching, which is interesting because I didn't think it required a network connection. I thought it would just be an on app that would just fire up, and it just hung up when I was standing in the middle of in one of the areas. It just kind of hung up there. So yeah,
Yeah, it sucks. I loved it when you said you were trying to persuade Becky to get an 8 Pro.
Well,
Is that so you can play with it?
Well, it was more, yeah, basically, but it was I just told her, I was trying to kind of basically describe because we were taking pictures and walking around, and as we were taking these photos, I was kind of looking, she's like getting down low, she's getting like low to the ground kind of shots for an angle, and so she's trying to take some cool shots too. And I told her about all the features. I was kind of explaining some of the features that the 8 Pro seems to have. And I'm thinking, look how good this looks on a Pixel from 4.5 years ago. Can you imagine having an 8 Pro with better optics, better algorithms, all the UI smarts and stuff? How cool that would be. I didn't get around to telling her it'd be $1,000, clearly, because
that.
Well, and I also had mentioned, and this is something too that, for people who, maybe there are people that are rocking a 4XL or maybe a 4A 5G or a Pixel 5. Now that the 8 Pros come out, you can snag a 7 Pro for about 350 quid. I mean, and that's a pretty capable phone, I would say. I mean, you had the 7 Pro. I was going to ask, now you've had the 8 Pro now what was going on? Did you have a shipping? Was that Mozillian? What was going on? I was trying to follow through the thread, and I was.
Oh, dude, that was.
So yeah, tell me about that's a little bit of a. Sound like a.
Do you want to talk about that? Okay.
Yeah, might as well since we're here. What the hell? What happened with that?
So I sent the phone in. Because I was selling it for $550. The buyer was paying, but I was going to take 478 quid for it because there's a £60 fee and you take the hit on the postage. But when they received it, I got an email shortly after saying, with them images, saying there's scratches on there. And I was like, what? I knew what condition it was in when I sent it. They didn't have scratches on there at all. So I was going apeshit, obviously. So they sent it back. I was like, okay, great. I weren't happy, but great. I'm going to get a scratched up phone back. I'm going to struggle to sell this. I get it back. They got my address wrong, so it's lucky I got it diverted to the post office.
Jesus. I
open it up. The box has got 2 knife slashes in it, which obviously shows the level of care.
Right.
And then the third thing, I was in Costa with Saoirse, like daddy-daughter day on Thursdays. All I did was wiped the where the scratch was, and magically it disappeared.
Yeah, it's just a dirt smudge or something like that, right?
Yep. So when I got home, I rubbed it properly with a proper cloth. But what's funny though, right? Even funnier is in the pictures they sent me. It's got a picture of a similar cloth to what I used, but they didn't use it, obviously.
Yeah, they clearly just have it hanging somewhere. They didn't actually use the darn thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting.
But fair play to one of the directors. Obviously, it was the power of social media, but he called me and said, "Look, I'm really sorry. I'm devastated. What's happened?" And he's offered me a resolution. And he said he's going to look into the processes which failed it this time. He's going to talk to the individuals involved. So, okay, if they learn something from it, that's good.
Yes. Barry's in the chat and Jimmy and everybody. Really? Yeah. So and Dan, correct. Yeah, we were. It was off because again, me and Becky had a day to go to the botanical garden here in St. Louis, and it's a long drive, and I was thinking, well, we may not get back in time, and we wound up doing it. But I didn't tell Joe I'd come back because I kind of just, I figured Joe was probably going to relax, chill out for the evening, go to bed, just relax and, enjoy what better way to keep the momentum of a new season than having the next week and not having a show. So that was kind of a good idea. Right. And then, so I saw on, here's the thing, me and Joe both post on the Nomad Tech project Twitter X Space thing.
Yeah.
So and I was texting earlier today because I saw that apparently Zach almost
Yeah,
got
that's
killed
pretty
by a
horrible,
dog.
isn't it?
I was like, what the hell? So I was kind of, and I sometimes I have my own personal account and then I switch over. Well, sometimes, and I have to be very careful about this because I usually don't post anything that's, too controversial, but I'm never really 100% when I start to post on something, like when I'm either responding to or liking something, I keep forgetting which account I'm on. So, and Joe and I just kind of unilaterally just post on it. We don't. So the problem is you don't really know who's posting. So today I saw he put the little parens. He said Joe, so that's how we know. And I see he was going to do a X Space, which we should still try to do sometime. Maybe not on a Sunday. Maybe we should just. I don't know how. I've never done a Twitter X Space. I know that the only one that I'm aware of is Viper does his the coffee talk every day. Or almost every day or something like that. So that's the only one I've ever kind of jumped into and seen. So we should try that too. I mean, and that's another thing. I don't know, people in the chat, would you be willing or interested to hear like a Friday afternoon? Well, Friday afternoons are probably out because anyway, that's a dedicated. So I can't do anything on Fridays really probably for a while because my wife and I have decided that we have a weekly dedicated date night. That's the
good,
night
man.
we go out.
That's good.
Yeah, it's the night we go out, and here's the funny thing: we never didn't do that before. It wasn't like we hadn't been out in months, right? It was just something that we came and we decided, hey, Friday night's a good night. That's when we can eat out because we try not to eat out; it's expensive, and then just have something where we go and do something fun together. So unfortunately, that butts up against the TNT podcast, so I gotta figure out how to do that. So because that starts right at like 5:30 or 6 on my, it's like so.
Oh, Becky, eat up.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. But if people are interested in that X Space kind of thing where we jump on for maybe half an hour or 20 minutes just to kind of bebop around, we would totally do that. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Aditya likes X Spaces.
He does, and yes, and he says you got to date your wife. You do.
You do.
Yeah, you have to, man. If you have a significant other, and that's not necessarily a wife, that's anybody, right? You have to kind of you have to be deliberate about your relationship. I think, it's.
Yeah.
I think, and I see a lot of my friends and other people I know. They're really kind of they assume once you're married, they don't. I don't want to say it's not as bad as you kind of give up on it because I don't think that's the case.
Just drift.
But life.
Coast.
Yeah, life gets in the way. You got it's kids, and then you have a job, and you're, especially when you're starting a family, you're both working towards, developing skill sets and getting ahead, and you're working more hours, and maybe picking up a second job. And by the time you realize that, and it's not so much a deliberate not spending time, you just you blink, and it's been like a month. It's like, well, we haven't done anything together as a couple in a month, right? And yeah, absolutely, and I agree, Peter. You have to date yourself every now and again. Absolutely. You got to take yourself out and, enjoy, whatever it is you like to do, or, learn to do something new, right? Expand your horizons, go maybe do something that, if you're looking at a local, get involved in a club or, take a woodworking class. Like I'd like to do when I retire, I'd like to get into woodworking. It always seemed like a lot of fun, doing cabinets and shelves and stuff. That looks kind of fun. So
I can picture you doing that.
Yeah, it just, I can tell you right now, once I retire, I've got to do something. I just can't sit around and just kind of I'll just sit on the patio and have a coffee in the morning and just read the newspaper. And that sounds fine and everything, but
not you.
I want to get into something and stay active and learning something new. And I thought that was kind of fun. I got a buddy I went to high school with who's really into that stuff. Like he's been developing it for like 15 years. It's like a business, right? He does woodworking. His name is Christopher Banks. And some of the stuff he creates, just like these like lazy Susans or these shelving units or coffee or these, just amazing levels of detail and intricacy, like how the wood just completely, it's some of the stuff he does is just, you can tell it's like it took a lot of time and it's really artistic. And that's the problem. I don't have a lot of artistic talent. So it's going to be an interesting way to kind of push that around. So yeah, and I will be. Yeah, I will be the next Nick Offerman. I'd like. Yeah, Ron Swanson is my spirit animal. I can attest to that. So far you've had the Pixel 8 Pro for what, a couple of days? Was it a few days or so? How long have you had it?
Since Thursday.
Okay, so obviously, are you a big fan? Clearly.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's I mean, the flat screen straight away is nice. It's beautiful. And do you know what? It was noticeable the other yesterday morning. It was quite bright, low sun. But the screen was nice and clear. You can definitely see it's brighter than the previous one.
Right. Well, that's the problem I had too, because when I was taking pictures with the 4XL, it wasn't even a bright day. It was an overcast day here in St. Louis, and it was hard to see some of the pictures. And then I got so used to maybe swiping down and kicking the brightness up, and I realized it was already pegged out. I was like, "Whoa, that's
Yeah, it's frustrating. I had that with the 7 quite a few
well."
times.
And the problem is I'm glad it wasn't a sunny day, because if it were really sunny, it'd have been worse. I would not have been able to actually see the picture. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just kind of feel bad because I wanted to bring all 3, and I didn't even think about it ahead of time. I just was like, I'm gonna take the Pixel out and see, what I can do with it. Like, see how it holds up after 4.5 years. And it did pretty well. I have to admit, it was not too bad.
Thing is, if you'd bought all 3, you wouldn't have enjoyed it so much. Just using
Right.
one's nicer, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just, like you said, again, I thought it was funny. So that it seemed like, compared to Becky's iPhone, that the Pixel was even more than iPhone, because iPhone pictures that I've seen seem to be less saturated than other, like Samsung or whatever. And even it was like, I noticed that her shots were a lot brighter, not necessarily saturated, but there was a lot more contrast in the shots. And the Pixel 4XLs are a lot more, they're not as bright, and they're true. I mean, they're pretty. I don't want to say flat, because I don't really think that's the best way to describe it. It looked flatter than other phones I'd take. Definitely more than the Samsung or even the OnePlus.
Yeah. Flat is not a good thing, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and
I don't know.
absolutely, man. Go out for a pint and a
Oh yeah.
walk, or just a coffee. She'll drink Becky will drink a pint. We actually we went out Friday night, so we went to a local Italian restaurant where I used to work at long ago, and it was in an Italian part of St. Louis called the Hill. And she yeah, we had a good time. So that's kind of what we're doing. It's one of those things where, and it's harder when you're in your age. And I can tell you right now, Joe, when the girls were Saoirse's age, it was very hard to do that. You have to be extraordinarily dedicated and deliberate about that time. It can be really challenging when you're a parent, because a lot of times you want to do it, but then you just get to that Friday or whatever day you planned, and you're just wiped out, man. You're just like physically and emotionally just like, dude, I don't even want to get in the car. I don't want to be around people. I just want to sit in my sit on my couch and just like vegetate for like an hour, because you're just so.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's part of being a parent, and anybody in the chat who's got kids or whatever. Or now I understand. I've never really struggled with like mental illness and depression, but now I can understand when had Anna when she was little, that fatigue and just being like not in the mood to do anything other than just kind of exist on a couch. I can kind of understand where that comes from, and it's hard to kind of push through all that. So
do you know what,
yeah.
Sam? That's why. Because I thought, the podcast's off tonight. I'm feeling tired, but I thought, you know what? I don't want to just vegetate. That's why I said about doing the space, the X space.
Oh yeah. No, I'm glad you did. Yeah. And like I said, I didn't even, when I got home, I didn't even think about like, hey, I'm actually home earlier than I thought. Let's do it. Because I figured, it's by your time. For me, it's middle of the afternoon. It's, just after 3, mid 3, right? Or half 3. Is that what they say in the UK? Is it half 3? Half past 3, or just
half past? Yeah, half past, you say.
Yeah, half past 3. And for you it's 9:30, and it's a Sunday, so you might have to work in the morning. I know I do. I have to be up early, but
yeah, I'm in work tomorrow.
Yeah, so me too. And I gotta actually go in the office.
I've got an early finish though.
Oh, really? Is it like a normally scheduled day? Like, I don't know. So do you work a 40-hour week, or are you salaried?
Mine's
how does that work?
37 and a half I work. Well, okay. I probably do near a 40 anyway, most weeks. Because like I'm due to finish at 3 tomorrow, but whether I actually leave at 3, I don't know. All depends. Well, get caught up with a customer or something he's doing, I'll do it.
Right. Yeah, I get it, man. Like I said, I know it's tedious. I mean, especially going through, being in another country and being away from family and trying to go to medical school. I mean, that's a lot to take on.
I can only begin to imagine, really.
Yeah, so we rarely say half past. Okay. I get you. I knew it was a different way. I know the way they talk about time. Like I never. I think in the United States, if you said 3:30, people would look at you like you're weird. They would. It would.
3:30.
Yeah, we just say 3:30.
Yeah, that's what we say, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't. Some of
Yeah.
those things. It's one of those Americanized kind of things where we decided to say things weird, and then people make fun of us because we say eyeglasses instead of just glasses or spectacles, right? Because Americans are dumb, according to Jeremy Clarkson. Americans are stupid. Yeah,
Jeremy
maybe
Clarkson.
yeah, the guy from I guess the guy from Top Gear or whatever.
You call him McClarson?
No, I said Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah,
we say Jerry McClarson. Like
probably so.
All of a sudden he's Scottish.
Yeah, right, exactly. So yeah, it's fine. Half past the Kyle's ass. Yep, that works pretty good. So
I've passed the what?
I've passed a cow's ass. Yeah, that's yeah. I've heard that.
That's
before.
a different one.
That's well, leave it out. Coming up with interesting ways to say stuff isn't an American thing. I know there's a lot of ways in the UK to say all sorts of fun stuff. So
yeah, we've got some strange things we say as well.
Yeah, we don't, like I said, other than the Pixel 8 Pro, we trying to think what was going on.
Pixel 8 Pro is really good. I must say my early impressions are good. Very good. I'm enjoying it. Battery life I can't judge yet.
Just all the hardware, or with the software, have you been able to
it feels quite familiar, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's a
Pixel. But yeah, it's just that bit nicer. It's still too early to sort of say.
Oh, what, you don't have a final review after having the 4 days?
Not yet. No, that's coming tomorrow.
Right. And no, Peter, we did not address this, but apparently we need to. You have a very warm looking outfit. I did notice the sweater though. That looks a little bit more
well, do you know what?
There's not a hoodie because there's no hood on it, right? It's just a collar.
No, it's a little jacket. See, do you know what? Obviously I wasn't expecting to go on camera, and I thought I felt a bit cold, so I put a coat on in this room, and but now I'm on camera. I look a bit silly.
Yeah, no, it's all
good. I feel really warm. It's nice. It's cozy.
Almost toasty, right? Almost toasty.
Yeah, toasty.
Yeah, the Oppo Flip and the Motorola. Yeah, so the Motorola Flip, that's the $599 one. Yeah, again, Motorola. I can't. There's that thing where it's like, here you are with a Moto device, and they're really solid, but it's going to be ones that just slide under the radar, right? Especially now, man. What a bad time to launch an Android device. With all the Pixel 8 Pro talk, the Motorola's. I mean, I know you have to release them sometime, but it seems like they always get pushed off to the side. And I've had a couple of Motorola's. I like Motorola. Everybody kind of looks at me like I'm a little kind of bonkers about it, but I love the UI. The only thing I don't like about Motos is the update frequency and their OS switching. It's atrocious. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It's ridiculous how they do that.
Oh, I love churning out new devices, though, don't they?
Yeah, well, so does Xiaomi. I mean, I just heard about the 14. I'm like, didn't the 13 just come out like 20 minutes ago? Didn't we just
feels that way, doesn't
it? And then the 13T, right, and the 13 Ultra. And now we're talking about the Xiaomi 14. It's like, Jesus, man. It's like I thought that the 14 was always the first phone with a new processor at the beginning of the year. The Xiaomi.
Yeah, because they had this. They were the first to have the 8 Gen 1, weren't they? Gen 2.
Yeah,
sorry.
right. And so it's one of those things where but I thought that was like January, February. I didn't, I'm like, they're already talking about it now. It's like, Jesus. I mean, maybe they're just talking about it. Maybe, they realize it's coming out, but
rumor mill.
We are talking, the 13T just comes out, and here we are talking about the 14 after like, I don't know, 3 weeks or so. It just seems interesting. What else?
Maybe they're trying to get their sort of name remembered while the new iPhones have come out, the new Pixels come out. That's what they do, isn't it?
Right. So Shark says how you guys say McDonald's, and it's really McDonald's.
Ah, yeah, we say McDonald's, yeah.
Right. Well, it's not Mac, it's Mick. It's McDonald's.
Yeah. That's why. Why is it called a Big Mac then?
Right, because it's spelled
Explain
M-A-C.
that to me.
because it's not. Yeah, because it's spelled MAC. It's not spelled
Yeah.
Big MC. If it was, it'd be Big Mick.
But you can see why we call it McDonald's, because there's a Big Mac.
Right, but that's one sandwich. Yeah, or if you're Australia, they call it Macca's. That's even funnier.
Oh yeah, I've heard that term.
Yeah, Mackie
D's.
D's. Mac D's.
Mackie D's. Yeah.
Mickey D's. Yeah, Mickey D's is how I don't. People refer to it that way, and I'm just like Mickey D's. Sounds.
Is it officially McDonald's?
It's McDonald's. McDonald's. It's not Mac MAC. It's MC. So it's McDonald's. Yeah, that's how it's sounds. I don't know. That's how well it could be McDonald's. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe I've always heard it. I've never said McDonald's. I've always said McDonald's. So
old McDonald's.
Right. I have
farm.
no idea. Look, you know what's funny? How we literally, I swear, I know I don't have ADD, but it's funny how we're sitting there talking about the phone. And I see this little comment about McDonald's, and we just off into that for like 3 minutes, and they come out of it back to phones. It's just, again, folks, this is the most scattered podcast you're probably ever going to listen to, and people who have been here a while kind of know how we flow. I guess it's the best way to describe it, right?
Yeah, we're like Marmite. You have to lie. You either love us or hate us.
Right. And most people like us. I mean, which is funny because I have, which is, again, I don't think we have I listen to the show and I tell you, I think it's because I used to think it was just, I don't like the way my voice sounds. I thought that was it. And it's like, no, it's just all over the place. Like I said, it's kind of, it's just, that's what I like about it. It's just literally what we don't have.
It's just random.
It's literally whatever is coming on our head, and
it's wherever our brain travels randomly.
Right, and right, because I don't say aluminium, which is a funny thing, is that's how it's spelled. So as I'm looking at the word, it should be, because the word minimum, but we say minimum, so aluminium, aluminum. Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know why we say it that way. It doesn't sound right. It just isn't. But I mean, I've said it that way my whole life. But it's aluminum foil.
Yeah.
But it
must be a silent I. The other. Yeah.
It's just clearly not spelled that way. So I don't know how. It is we got stuck on saying an aluminum, because that's.
I'm going to look up this McDonald's thing though.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, that's how. I'm just saying. That's how I've always said it. Is McDonald's.
I wonder if different parts of America call it different things.
That's a good question. Anybody I've ever talked to from around the country, if they've ever referred to it, I've always heard people in the United States say McDonald's. Even on their commercials, they say. I mean, go pull up like a YouTube video, an American commercial. But it's funny, on those commercials, I don't ever really hear them say the word McDonald's. Weird. I don't know. It's bizarre. I don't know.
McDonald's. Well, it's Muck, isn't it? It's Muck.
Muck, not McDonald's. It's Mick.
Muck.
Like the word, like a Mick.
Muck.
Like MICK. McDonald's.
McCarthy.
That's MACARTHY. McCarthy, like, General
Muck.
Douglas MacArthur and McCarthy. Yeah, it's not MacArthur. It's McDonald's.
Not Mick either.
I know it's not Mick either. It's none of it. I don't know, man.
We're both wrong.
We both suck. That's basically what it comes
to. Suck, yeah.
There's a surprise. We're both wrong. There's a surprise, right? I mean,
talking of McDonald's, do you have the machines where you can order it from the machine?
Oh, the self-service touchscreen thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the till rolls always bloody run out, so you don't get the receipt.
Right. When was the last time I was in a McDonald's? Oh, got to be like 6 months ago, and I must have got, I think it was breakfast or something. I don't know. And
breakfast is good.
I just went through the drive-thru, and I just got one of the little what the hell did I get? Oh, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and a hash brown. I already had my coffee, so I just happened to stop on the way up because there's one literally on the way to my work, or kind of early in my drive. But yeah, I know I've seen it before. And my daughters, they only use the kiosk when you walk in. They don't even go to the counter anymore. They just use the little thing. Yeah. And then my Anna's got the app, so I guess you get points. I guess you can accrue.
Yeah, I've got the app. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it too, but I don't know what to do with it. So I mean, I don't use it very often, but it's cool.
I mean, I try not to go too much. I only really go because Saoirse having a little
Well,
one.
because you have a little kid. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
kids love that stuff.
She loves a cheeky chicken nugget. Who doesn't?
Nah, I can't complain, man. There's no shame in that. I mean, who doesn't love a 20-piece McNuggets? Although it's been a while since I've crushed a 20-piece. I used to do that quite a bit. Haven't done it in a while.
That could be a date night one night. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Pretty sure that's not what she's looking for. But yeah, although if we decided to do that, or like maybe just go to like a more of a fast food place just to get a couple of things and then take it somewhere and eat it at a park, she'd be okay with that. She's not real.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't mean
Becky's
sitting.
Oh yeah, Becky's never been so big on that. Hell, I mean, funny story. When I asked her to marry me, I did it at a Starbucks, ironically. And the only reason it happened like that is because we went out to dinner at this place in Kirkwood, Missouri. It's a kind of a steakhouse kind of place. And it was on a Friday night, but it was super busy, and I didn't want to do it in front of a bunch of people because to me that seems like a personal thing. I just was like, I was looking at the restaurant, it was like super packed, and it just didn't feel like I didn't want to sit there and have everybody clap and make it a big. I just like it was disruptive, and I wasn't in the mood for it. So before we went, but I didn't want to also not do it. After we got out of there, we just want to get something to drink. So she was like, "Hey, let's stop by Starbucks and I just got a brewed coffee." And then she wanted some kind of latte. And we walked in and it was like, I think it was like 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. So I don't even know why they were still open. We must have gotten there right before they closed.
Yeah.
It was near her parents' house. And I was sitting there and it was like me and her, and then the one barista and the one lady walked in the back. And I'm thinking, here's the perfect time to do it. So I just popped right there and did it. It was like, it was quiet. She always makes it joke like, only you would ask me to marry in a coffee shop.
Did you go down on one knee?
Oh yeah, of course you have to do that. Right? Yeah, because she was already sitting in the chair, so it actually made it kind of nice. She wasn't standing up, so she was nice and comfy, drinking her drink, and just kind of like decided what the hell.
Yeah.
Well, it made sense. That way we weren't so like I wasn't at her waist level or a belt buckle or something like that.
I've done the same with you in the sense that I bottled doing it in public. Yeah. So I had organised a meal at an Italian restaurant, funny enough, called Locale, and I even said on my booking that I was going to propose. But yeah, I bottled it. She was was getting ready in the hotel beforehand, and she just got out the shower. She had like a towel on her head, like a turban, and a towel around herself. And I'm pacing the room because I'm nervous, right? I'm pacing up and down, and she's like, "What are you doing?" Because I had some champagne ready as well. She's like, "Oh, get the champagne." She thought this was all for her birthday,
right?
But I had this plan, obviously, and she's like, "What are you doing? Get me some champagne." And I'm pacing around. She goes, "What's wrong with you?" And then I went and done it. Did the old
yeah.
But yeah, I bottled it as well.
Yeah,
but we was an hour late for our restaurant.
Right.
But they still kept the booth because of where I said in the booking I was going to propose.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, and
I felt awful though because
yeah, and basically, here's what I always tell you is, and here's the thing: the difference is this is Becky and I's both. This was our second marriage, right? So we had already been married once before her both. So I think it's a little different. And so you really have to kind of know who you're dealing with because. I know that there are a lot of women who it has got to be like, everything has got to be down the line perfect. Like it just and I'm like, but the funny thing is life is so not like that normally. So, no. and I'm not saying, and here's the thing, folks, Joe, so we're clear. I'm not saying that if you've got a woman in your life or a partner in your life that's really into that kind of stuff, that has to be all that. You have to scratch that itch, right? I'm not saying that that's a person you want to ditch because of that. However, Becky and I have just always been real kind of low key about those kinds of things, and we spend a lot of time actually we spend some time every day, at least talking to each other, at least for 5 or 10 minutes at some point, just kind of discussing what's going on. So yeah, it's a bit, I don't know. We just, do what you want, but basically realize that at the end of the day, if you're going to have a marriage or a relationship, it doesn't really matter. Like, and I think it winds up being a funny kind of story, right? It turns
Yeah.
into a funny story because it's like it's like when I tell people, well, because when you first hear where I did it, immediately women are like, oh, that's terrible. If my man proposed me in a Starbucks, I wouldn't date him. I'm like, well, okay, well then you're going to be a lonely fucking person, basically.
Yeah.
Um, but again, it's funny when you hear something like that, that there's some things that just are bad morally right off the bat, right? But some things it's like if somebody were to say to me, "Yeah, I proposed to my girlfriend or fiance in a like a truck stop or somewhere," there has to be a funny story behind that, right? There's got to be something that you want to dig into and see, like, why
Yeah.
would you do that? Because that's not a very typical place to do something like that, right? And so instead of hearing the story, you automatically come up with this stupid idea like this person's lazy or this guy don't give a shit or you know what I mean. And some guys are just kind of dense, right? They think, oh, what's a big deal, right? But there might be a funny story behind it, and with ours, there is a funny story behind it.
Do you know
But
what?
how you did it too is pretty interesting too. That wasn't it didn't work
Thing,
out to
Sam,
plan.
that you can plan it as best with all your time. You can be like, okay, this can be perfect. I can plan it this way. But when it comes down to it, I bottled it. I'm not going to lie. I thought I can't
Yeah,
do it in a packed restaurant. I can't do it. And when I actually think about it as well, Lauren wouldn't have liked it in a packed restaurant either. She
yeah. It's
doesn't
just you
like to be center of attention. So the way I
right.
did it was perfect in the end.
Yeah, and like I said, had we been in a different restaurant where maybe there was more, and this one specifically, not only was it busy, but the tables are a lot closer than other
Mm.
restaurants. It's more of an intimate kind of setting. Again, as once we got out there, we sat down, and I was thinking about doing it. Um, I was just like, man, this is not going to go well. If I do this here, it's gonna not go well. I just don't want to because there, and again, it may have been fine. Maybe everybody would have clapped and everybody would have went to their lives and ate their dinner and nobody would have gave a shit, right?
Yeah.
It did not feel right. I
If it
couldn't
don't feel
describe it.
right, that's
Right.
probably not right,
Oh,
mate.
and neither did the Starbucks. That was just more of like, well, I got to do it tonight because I don't want to wait anymore. And so fuck it. There's nobody here, so it's actually the opposite, right? So all the reasons why I didn't want to do it at the restaurant did not present themselves at the
Hmm.
Starbucks. We were literally the only people in the shop, and it was one barista, so it was almost completely by ourselves. And it's funny because the barista saw it, was like, "Oh my god, that's the sweetest thing! I don't think I've ever." And here's the thing: she's got a great story because she can tell somebody that somebody actually asked them to marry somebody in
Yeah.
their shop. It's just great. It works out great. And at the end
See,
of the day, it
that
doesn't
just
really matter
shows
where you
though,
do.
like her reaction just shows Sam that it is sweet.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's definitely not the most romantic location in the world, and like
But
I
I
said,
think the unexpected is nice.
I thought so. And like I said, it gives us a funny story, and we kind of can keep that to that becomes our story, right? Our journey, right, through this life that
Have I ever
we
told you about our first dance?
no.
Well, the DJ's laptop battery went, so our first dance music just stopped. So we had to
Shit.
redo our first dance again.
That's weird. Oh well, that just happened. So
Yeah,
um
we just carried on though. I went and carried on drinking, and then but we actually got a full refund. We didn't complain, right? We didn't complain at all because we're not them type of people. We just cracked on. We had a good night. But apparently the DJ does a full report of the night, and his boss read it and sent us an apology, gave us a full refund, and then 2 bottles of wine, boxed wine, arrived another day as well. So we got a DJ free and some wine.
hey, I mean, hell, that worked out pretty good. So and that's what life's about to me. It's just like it's all those little kind of unplanned contingency, how you run with it and that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool
Mm.
because that's what life is. And was somebody, I don't know where the quote comes from, and it was they always say is you want to make God laugh, tell him what you have planned. So and that's what life is, right? It's all those kind of
Yeah.
things. So it's good. So I mean, I guess what it comes down to is um whether you have yourself, and enjoy those things, and or whether you're married or whatever. It's I think there's a reason for the why you're in a situation, right? Even if it's a bit negative situation. Like I was, there's a guy I follow. He's a former SEAL. His name is Jocko Willink. I really like this guy. I like what he does. Anyway, and he talks about, and when something bad happens, he used to have people complain that something bad would happen, like, "Hey, I didn't get the promotion at work." And you know what he'd say? Good. And he'd say, and the reason why, because now you can get onto something else and you can work harder and achieve what you have, right? So it's a
Yeah.
setback is basically your indication that you can work harder, and there's another opportunity there if you're willing to work for it. And it's like, so when everybody be, hey, I didn't get this, or hey, I didn't get the promotion, or hey, this happened to me, or whatever, and he's like, his response is good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm like, and that's just like, it's funny because that's kind of everybody else wants to say, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, man. Hey, no big deal. Don't get down. Don't get discouraged, but he's just like, can you imagine you saying something happened negatively to you? And so the person responds with, yeah, that's good. You're like, wow, you're a dick, right? I mean, that's your first
Yeah.
response, right? But it's a
But
really,
it's true though
different.
that the hard times in your life shape and mold you, don't they?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
me getting made redundant was one of the best things that happened to me in hindsight. It felt horrible at the time, but in hindsight, yeah, I really grew as a person.
yeah, absolutely. And that's, it's, and that's really what you have to do, right? It's one of those things where the real learning is in the losses and the setbacks and the failure.
Hmm.
That's what learning is becoming, right?
Yeah,
Again, it's the hardest lesson. And but anyway, I don't want to get too much of in a down note. I just, like I said, that's just how I see things. I try to at least absorb what's being happening, and then kind of always saying, hey, I don't know if I have the same mentality as Jocko. I'd like to. There's a lot of things that he does that I really resonate with, but I don't know if I would say good. I mean, until he kind of explains the context of that statement, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense.
I like what Jimmy said. Always look on the bright side of life.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
Classic.
absolutely. And and yeah, and free DJ and wine is a good deal because especially those are expensive. It's very, very, very expensive kind of stuff.
I've
Especially
got a
that's
new toy, Sam.
oh,
I've
okay.
got
Other than the pics, what do you got there?
it's a DJI. No, it's not. What am I talking about? It's InstaFlow 360. Insta
Okay.
360 Flow. Sorry, it's a gimbal, and it's
Oh,
really
for
good. The tracking on it's cool. I need to
cool.
learn how to use it properly though.
Well, yeah. I mean, that would help. I mean, I guess. Excuse me. I guess, when did you get that? Was that sent to you, or did you pick that up? Like, how did you come
No,
up?
I actually bought this one. Yeah, I had Amazon vouchers to use up, so yeah, I got it 'cause it's great for vlogging. The tracking is awesome. Like you go like that, and it follows you really well.
Yeah,
Even if you go really fast, it follows you. It's really good. I'll
yeah,
send you a little video. I was messing about with it earlier.
yeah. Like I said, we got to check that out because I'm curious to see. I've never thought about having a gimbal just because I don't take a lot of videos, and it seems like
No,
even if I did, the stabilization on the phones is usually sufficient for what I'm trying to do. But and I do a lot of vlogging, and just generally I don't.
yeah,
So
so I've got it for vlogging, but it comes out like a selfie stick as well, so it can go further out. And it's got it's not the best tripod, but it's got a built-in tripod as well, so you can do time lapses and stuff with it. It's pretty cool.
yeah, Jimmy's saying, "What do you think about the OnePlus Open?" Well, I will tell you that if I had an unlimited, not even unlimited budget, if I had 3 grand to spend, I would absolutely get a OnePlus 8. I would get the OnePlus Open and an 8 Pro. That would have both the foldable and I'd have both phones. I think the OnePlus Open is going to be awesome. But
Yeah,
again, I think it's one of those phones where in order for the OnePlus Open, you have to be a fan of OnePlus, right? Because that's a brand it's has kind of lost its way, as people say, or whatever. It's not, people kind of complain about it. And also, you got to be about the foldable, right? You have to be in that, like, Barry is going to be getting a OnePlus 12, right? He's not going to get an Open just because he's not ready for the fold. Like, he's still a slab phone guy, which is fine. So for this to sell real well, you have to be OnePlus as a brand and the way they do their cameras and their UI, but also you have to be in the foldable. So it's, but yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge OnePlus fan. I don't care. I realize that I know people didn't like the 8 and the 9. People are complaining about that. Obviously, after the 7 Pro, which
Yeah.
admittedly is I guess people have argued is peak OnePlus, and I would agree. And I do miss Oxygen, the pure Oxygen OS. But I also like the mix of the Oppo, the Color OS thing. I'm okay with
I
that.
like ColorOS. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And so it's. But again, I would like to get a OnePlus Open. I would really, but it just the thought of spending $14 or $100 whatever, especially since I have the Fold 5. I just don't have the money for it, and I just can't justify the cost. But I would love to get my hands on one. That would be fantastic.
Deech has asked me a good question where I'm going to get some mics. I actually have got some mics that I've never used by Joby.
Okay.
I actually won them.
So is that like a regular stand mic, or is it like a lav, or what is that exactly?
Yeah, it's like you got all sorts in this kit actually. You got a little.
Okay, you get a little lav.
Yep, yeah. You got. What else you got? You got all sorts in here. Oh, I've never actually used it, so yeah. Oh, you got. Fuzzy. It's like a little pet, isn't it?
Right, it look like little tribbles. That's what they look like.
Yeah, because you got more than one, you see. So you can do interviews with them.
Okay. Yeah, you should try to fire that bad boy up on our next show or something like that. If I would have that, I would love to try that out and see. With all the struggles I have with this XLR and this Focusrite and stuff, hello.
What else? There's two, Lav. This is a little necklace because it can attach to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I won this on
was that a giveaway?
Roger's channel when he did the giveaway. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I was over the moon. I've still never used it.
Right. And I've seen that there are leak specs on GSM Arena for the OnePlus Open already. Yeah. I love OnePlus phones. I mean, they're great. I still have the OnePlus 10 Pro, and I have that just because I like OnePlus, and I'm not even going to apologize for it. But the problem I'm running into is, if I had the 8 Pro, I switched. It seems like when I have more than one phone, like like today, normally, if I had the full 5, I would have taken that to the garden and took all the pictures, right? Mm-hmm. Which would have been fine. But and everybody said, well, why and even Dan, I made a comment. I took some pictures the other day with my full 5. So I thought you were rocking the OnePlus 10 Pro. I'm like, I am, but I will literally sometimes, and I'm telling you, this is terrible. I might switch multiple times in a day, because you know what happens, and this is what happens to me is I'll be on my full 5 and think, man, this is a great phone. I love the foldable, and then somebody will mention a OnePlus 11 or something about OnePlus or Hasselblad or whatever. And I go, oh yeah, that's right. And then I'll pull it out of the drawer, throw a SIM in it, and start using it for a day or two. It's terrible, man. I have a problem. It's definitely a problem.
That's the thing. I really should. I love the Pixel. I'm really happy with it, and I should just go SIM only. But then on the bus this morning, I played Football Manager on my Xperia, and I was like, oh yeah, I do love the 21:9. Yeah, that's the thing. They all bring different things, and
right. And that's the problem, is that one thing really clicks, right? And you're like, oh, I really like the camera, or oh, I really like the sound quality, or oh, it's got a headphone jack, or the aspect ratio. I like the way it feels in my hand. Great battery life, charges quickly. Like, there's all these things that kind of just like, and it just kind of like all swirls around this like vortex of like, Jesus. And you're always in that space where you're like, I don't know, I could use this today. And okay, Dan makes me feel better. Okay, we all have the same problem. Okay, cool. I thought it was just
I think most of the guys here probably got the same problem.
Right. And I agree with Shark. Like I said, I'm hoping that they carry that OnePlus Open at a Best Buy, because I really want to check out that hardware, because that's the only chance that I'll have to get it without ordering it, and that's not going to happen. So, yeah, and I do like the Xperia. I like the Xperias too. I just, it sucks just because you don't have enough days in the week to handle all the phones we have, right? And it's definitely a first world problem, that's for sure. So I guess you're done with everything, right? You got rid of the Xperia. You're done with the 7.
No, I'm on the Xperia now. Look.
Oh, the Xperia. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Keep that. So can you have 2? Is that through O2 as well, like where you work, or how's that?
No, so that's on my contract. and
Okay.
the Pixel I buy outright.
Oh, you bought it outright. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but that's why, going back to the whole selling my Pixel 7 Pro, that's why I was so devastated as well, because I needed that cash to
leverage
make.
into the to the
Yeah,
Pixel. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So yeah, that's why I was really annoyed. But that's resolved now. Well, nearly resolved.
Yeah.
It's not
Yep.
quite resolved yet.
Yep. And I agree. He goes, I don't see any network here. So yeah, I don't know if any. I know O2 is not going to carry the OnePlus Open. I don't.
No, we don't do OnePlus, sadly.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd switch to it.
Yeah, and this is again, there is too much stuff to go around. There's too much good stuff. It's definitely a problem with all that kind of stuff. And yeah, well, they do actually. Best Buy carries not only the OnePlus 11 and the OnePlus 10. Matter of fact, up until like I think 3 or 4 months ago, you could still get refurbished 8Ts. At Best.
Really?
Yeah,
the 8 Pro
so
was a
they
good
do
phone.
Yeah, and they've got that Nord the N300 or whatever is N30. I bought a Nord from them. The N30 I thought I brought for like a couple of. So they do sell OnePluses at Best Buy here, at least the one near my house they do, and I think generally they do. As far as the Open, I don't know about that one. That's going to be a hard one to. It's again at Best Buy. It's going to be they do sell Sony phones. I have seen Xperias. The problem at Best Buy is they never go on sale, or they rarely do. Even some of the Motorola's that you can get them on Swappa for like $200 off or whatever. You go to Best Buy and they'll still have it for full retail or maybe $50 off or something like that. They will not have Oppo or OnePlus. Well, I have to use OnePlus because of AT&T and the whitelist. Personally, honestly, right now, if I could use any phone, any slab phone right now, I would get a Huawei Mate 60. That's what I would get.
If it had Google services, I would definitely love to try one.
I don't even care about that because I got.
I'd like to try. I'd love to try the 13 Ultra, the Xiaomi.
I did have a Xiaomi. I had the Mi 11, and it was the one that had the light eco.
How'd you get on with MIUI?
I like it.
See, I've never tried it.
The phone was great. Actually, I had that phone. That's the phone I had when I went to Puerto Rico and took all the pictures in Puerto Rico. That was all taken with the Mi 11, and that was a great phone. I loved the Mi 11. My first Xiaomi was
really liked his
the Mi Mix 3 with had the little slider. I used to love that thing. The little Mi Mix, the Mi Mix 3 had the little slider. That was so good. I like Xiaomi phones. I know a lot of people say that they're not very good and they don't like MIUI, but I love Xiaomi phones. I've had
Barry's got the Ultra, isn't he? The 13 Ultra.
Yeah, he has the Ultra, and he loves that phone. We were just talking about it last night on the stream, and he was like, "Man, this phone is just a killer device."
It is a proper Ultra.
Yeah,
it really
that's
is.
a proper
He
Ultra.
is right.
Yeah, it's a really good one. If you can handle, again, I think if you can handle the UI, I think you're okay. But I mean, I've had only 2 Xiaomi phones. Yeah, the Mi Mix 3 was my first Xiaomi, and I did that the sliding thing. I'd always find that to be awesome. Like back in the day when you had to get the selfie camera, you had to slide it up and like that. That was so like revolutionary. When I showed people that like 4 or 5 years ago, they were amazed. They didn't even see such a thing. It was pretty cool. So and then I got the Mi 11.
I used to like the Zen phone with the camera.
Oh, the flip.
Around.
Yeah. Oh, the flip. Yeah, dude. That's such a cool. I mean, I love, and that's the thing. Just in my general life, I love things that nobody else has. I love having are using things that people just kind of go, wow. That's why I liked using the Duo because it was so unique and it was so
LG wing.
The wing. Yeah, I mean, just it was so unique because when you would use it, people, or even when I had the V60, and the G8X with the dual screen case back then, before and there was any foldables at all. Having 2 screens, I mean, it just blew people away. The people had no, and even not just Apple people, I can expect them to not know about those form factors, but other Android users, Samsung users or people who use Motorola's, they had no clue that those things even existed. It was just, watching people's face when you use that, they're just like, what the hell? What is like? They're completely blown away. It's nuts. It's kind of fun to watch too.
To be fair, sometimes it's quite easy to blow people away. When I am, now
Yeah,
playing
that's
on
fair.
Pixels,
Yeah.
I'm always
Oh yeah.
showing that feature. People are like, wow. But
Yeah.
it is, to be
Absolutely.
fair, it is a feature I really like on
Yeah.
Pixels.
And yeah, and Barry does. I've heard him say this before. He prefers ColorOS over MIUI.
Yeah, I can
Again, I know that.
understand that.
Yeah, and I get it, but I mean, but as far as the hardware and the cameras, I think the Xiaomi Mi the 13 Ultra, I'd love to take that for a spin for a couple of weeks, even if I can't use it as a phone. But what's funny is I had that Xiaomi P30 and that wasn't on any white. There's and I used to get it. I would literally put the AT&T SIM in and literally get a text message.
Huawei, you mean?
Yeah, the Huawei
The
P30.
Huawei, yeah.
And I would put the SIM in it. I would literally get a text message. This phone is unsupported. Da 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 da. Right, and it worked like a charm. I never had a. Then Gigi gave me that the Find N,
It
and I
didn't
could
work,
not
did
get
it?
it to work. I couldn't get it to work on T-Mobile, Mint, or AT&T. None of them work.
Hardware-wise, though, that thing's nice, right?
Oh, dude, if I could have got that thing to work, I would have told Gigi I would buy it from her. I would be using that Oppo right now. That thing was just the hardware was so crispy.
Oppo are good, man. Oppo
Dude,
are
that
really
phone
good.
was so good. That Oppo Find N was so good. And it wasn't even the newer one. She had the Find N too. And I love that phone. That's when I knew it was like, okay, I'm all in the foldable life. That was that after the Duo and before the Fold, I knew that's foldables were my thing. Like I knew it. I was like, I could use this all the time. So let's see. We got some chats
Well,
here.
Sharkfin might get a Pixel Fold.
Ooh. Well, yeah. Well, and the carrier. So I'm curious. I'm assuming that would be T-Mobile or Verizon. I don't. Obviously, probably T-Mobile. Honestly, that's a tough call because I know a lot of the thing that draws me to the Pixels is the stuff like Now Playing, all the features, right? But remember, if you're not going to get the advanced features that you're getting, at least not at first, that you're getting on the 8 Pro, right? So
no,
that's
why the Fold 2 might be the way to go.
I will tell you, the Fold 2 will come out right as I'm getting rid of this, and if I think I'll try the Fold 2. If they put a Tensor G3 and it has all the features that it has, and I think that's what I read an article right before he came online. It was one on my Google feed. It was talking about Pixel should have waited to release a Fold until now.
Yeah.
And put the G3.
Would it have eaten 8 Pro sales? That's the thing.
I don't think so. I think this now it will if you have an 8A because it's slab phone to slab phone. But this is a foldable. It's a completely different market, and people aren't ready for that.
It's true. But there's a reason Samsung don't do the Fold at the same time as the S23 Ultra, for example.
Right. And like I said,
there's got to be a reason.
I don't think you'd cannibalize that many sales. Yeah, you might get a few, but I think people really have to oh, it is AT&T. Oh shit! I'll tell you right now, if AT&T carries the OnePlus Open, dude, I'll find a way to upgrade early. I'll probably upgrade early. Seriously, I'm dead serious. If AT&T says they have the OnePlus Open for a contract, I'll either burn one of the other. I have a 5th line that I use as a spare that I did on an upgrade when I got I think it was the S22. It was one of those you had to add a line, so I added a line. So I have actually 5 lines on AT&T. Only 4 lines. Yeah, well, I have 4. I mean, I've got.
You did say you've got a problem, right?
Well, the 4 lines are in use, right? Well, actually, it used to be 5 with my mother. So it was me, and Becky, and my daughters, and my mom, all on AT&T. I had and my mom because it was only like $20 for her. I even gave her my old G8. She was using my LG. And then she passed away, so they basically and because when somebody passes away, they just burned the line.
Yeah.
But when I went to upgrade, the deal was that he had to start a new line. I'm like, well, hell with it. So I have another line that on a phone number that I don't even know what the phone number is. I couldn't tell you. And that's always was supposed to be designed as that was the upgrade line, right? It was supposed to pay off all the phones that were attached to real phone and then use that 5th line as like the upgrade on AT&T Up, right? Next or whatever their thing is called. Oh, well, you're not going to get hardware support. No, because it's a foldable. I mean, if you can keep a foldable 7 years, I mean, you definitely get the software support, but is the fucking screen going to break?
It doesn't last too.
I don't think it's going to last.
No,
obviously.
I see
I
too
did not
many.
see. Did I see articles for No, I did not. But that's interesting. I wonder they're going to replace it with. Is it just another version? Are they going to go like a Harmony OS kind of thing, or are they just going to rebrand MIUI? Are they going to completely redesign MIUI, or maybe go stock? I can't imagine Xiaomi going stock Android. All those companies love highly skinned versions of Android. I can't imagine. But I'm curious what that I gotta read that article. I'm gonna go find it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I'll have to read that one.
Yeah. So we'll see. Called My OS. Okay. Yeah. So they're gonna just basically rebrand it and they're gonna change it a little bit. Okay. Cool. Um, that would be nice. October for flagship and April for foldables. Yeah. I think that would be cool. I think that's a pretty yeah, definitely offset by 6 months, like a 6-month cycle. You got your regular slab phones and then your foldables. I think if and when the foldable market becomes more entrenched and more I guess mainstream, I guess that's the best way to describe it. I think that they could see something like that. Okay. Posted a few days ago on the 19th. On the 9th. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Like I said, I'm gonna go read. I like GSM Arena. That's really a great resource.
Yeah, I do like GSM Arena. Yeah.
Especially if you're comparing 2 devices or maybe even 3 devices. Dude, the compare is so great because you can have it all across the board. As you can see the chipsets, you can see the store. Dude, GSM Arena is a really good resource. I see they do make some misses sometimes, especially with their reviews and stuff. There's some data errors, but with all the phones they're trying to cover, you're going to have just statistically, you're going to have some things that just don't get kind of out of
of course. They're humans.
But I think the website in general is a fantastic resource for comparison.
Yeah. I like the speaker tests they do as well. They're pretty good.
And I think are they in Russia? I think is that where their home office is because all the pictures I ever see, I think it's in Russia.
Oh,
I can't swear to it, but if somebody wants to comment on that, I don't know because it looks like it always seems like they're taking pictures and all the samples. It looks like they're in Russia or Ukraine or I don't know where they are, but I'm pretty sure they're not. They're definitely not in the U.S. That's for sure. I can tell.
No.
Let's see what Pierce says. MIUI 50 is already in development. They just started AOSP 14 fresh and rebuilt. Oh, they're going to go AOSP and then build in some hooks. Okay,
that'd be good.
That'd be interesting. Now that would be cool to see.
See, MIUI, I've never used it, but there is some nice features on there.
Yeah, I said
Flossie seems to really like it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I had Harmony OS on P30. I liked Harmony OS. I realized that's we're in that discussion too. Well, it was an interesting discussion about how the U.S. government's kind of freaking out that they were able to get access to 5G chips. Right? They're trying to see if they basically violated the ban, which I don't know how. I mean, it's like. I mean, if they do, what are they going to do about it? I mean, they're going to sanction them. It's like,
yeah, what are you going to do about it?
It's like, what are they going to do about it? It's whatever. It's stupid. Of course, politics always has to get in the way of something. That's fun.
Politics suck.
Generally, yeah, I would agree. And so we'll see. But I know the United States government
we're
was really they were worried about
podcast member.
Oh God, no! That's just not it. No, and look. I mean, just look what happens when you go online and not even politics. You make a comment about something that's just. I wouldn't think it would be a controversial take, and people just go all over the fucking place. Like I saw this one thing. It was an article, and there was a statue in the U.S. I think it was in South Carolina or something or whatever. They put googly eyes on the statue. Just like little googly eyes. Yeah, it looks funny, right? To me, that's funny. And Jesus, the city put on their website this big, long diatribe. This is disrespectful. This is defacing government guys. I'm like, first of all, it's googly eyes, and they're funny. And second of all, it's not like you damage the statue. They could take some warm water and just get the adhesive off, and the googly eyes come off, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's kind of funny. I'm like, God, nothing now.
It's not like they took a dump next to it.
About everything. Yeah, or they cut off the arm, or if they spray paint it, even with spray paint, you can still get it off, right? But it's fucking googly eyes, dude. It looks hilarious. First of all, like you see the statue of can you imagine that? I don't know who's in Trafalgar Square. I don't know what that statue. I know there's a statue, right? Who is it? Is it Francis Drake? I don't know who it is, right? I'm not sure. In Trafalgar Square, isn't there a statue on a pedestal? Isn't there? Is it or not? I mean, am I not remember?
Yeah, I can't remember right now though. My
Right.
memory's
Can you
so.
imagine just like a thing of Winston Churchill, right, in the middle of, and somebody puts googly eyes on it? That'd be hilarious, right? It's just like, yeah, it's technically it's disrespectful, and I know it's defacing it because you're climbing on it and putting googly eyes on it. But I mean, it's kind of fun, right? These people
Churchill,
all
isn't it?
flip the
Yeah.
fuck out about it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, just take the googly eyes off and just like call it a day. I would think it's funny. It looked cool because
People
somebody
need
took a picture of it and they posted it. It's hilarious looking. It looks really, really weird.
people need to chill out a bit, don't they?
I think people need to calm down and pump their brakes a little bit. Not everything needs to be outrageous. I mean, some things you hear just like it doesn't even affect you. I'm like, it's like everybody's asking me, like, do you have an opinion on that? I'm like, not particularly, because I don't care about it that much. It doesn't ever move the needle for me. I wouldn't have that discussion about it normally, much less if something happens. So why would I care? Let's see. Yeah, Ibrahim, it's getting ridiculous. Yeah, it's just like
Ibrahim's got the bay color of the 8 Pro he has.
Oh, the hey baby.
Yeah.
I wish it was darker blue. I don't know. I mean, I don't dislike it. I think it's pretty sharp looking. I wish it
wasn't
more
for me, but it's nice.
I wish it was more about the I wish it was more the color of the original clearly blue or whatever it was on was it the Pixel 3 series had the blue?
Yeah.
I want that blue. That would have been cool. And it's Horatio Nelson. Okay, fair enough. Okay, cool. Nelson, it's called Nelson's Column.
Nelson's Column, yeah, that's it. I'm so
okay. I knew
I knew that.
I've seen pictures of Trafalgar Square, and you're probably impressed. I didn't know what that is. At least I am. You should be. I knew there was a statue, but I could never remember seeing what it ever up close. I just remember seeing this, kind of like recessed area. It's a column, and so 65. Yeah, it's tall. I mean, anyway, but imagine somebody climbing that and putting googly on it, and then taking a picture of it, and then, it's like, yeah, definitely don't, it's not exactly the most respectful thing, but it's definitely also not like they fucking spray painted, a swastika or put a clown face on it. Like, now if they spray paint like Joker, that would be fucking hilarious. Like, I could get into that, like
Joker's face.
Yeah, Joker's face on it. Now that would be funny. That would be kind
so
of
serious.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that's pretty on
disappear. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that, and then I can understand it's like, that's a little bit more of a thing, but it's like, yeah, I'm definitely,
more face paint on statues. Yep.
Right. It was, yeah.
Do you know what that reminds me of though, Sam? Reminds me of skinning your shit.
Right. Hashtag skin your shit. Extremesins.co.uk. I did order my
psychedelic
my psychedelic for my 10 Pro, and I did tracking this time because at least now I know, and it's probably going to be out pretty soon. Hopefully, usually from the order, it's about 2 weeks to get to my house. And I realize if you're in the UK or in Europe, you might get it a lot sooner. But
very Austin Powers.
Oh
yeah, baby,
yeah, baby, yeah. Right. So it's do I make you horny, baby? Do I? Yeah, it's like,
it's brilliant.
So, yeah, it looks cool, but it usually when I've ordered skins from them before, it takes about right at 14 days.
I forgot to reach out to them, Sam. I'm an idiot.
No, you're just forgetful. It's okay. You're not stupid. Yeah. You just forgot. But anyway, yeah, it's fantastic. You get your skit, your phone. You go pick the colors. They have those. They've got some that are a little bit just standard colors, right? More colors that are pedestrian, not so outlandish, right? They got wood, they got all sorts of stuff, and they've got practically every device covered. And if you have, other than a smartphone, like say you have a game console, like you got a PS5, you got an Xbox One X, you got a Switch, they got you covered. Headphones. Got you covered. Right? They got you covered. Tablets, dude, it's awesome. They're really great quality. Always coming up with new kind of colors. And I know there are other companies which they will not be mentioned ever on this show because we don't mention those kind of people, not because of the sponsorship with Extreme Skins, just because, I just don't think that's a good thing to do. You know who they are. You're not an idiot. You can figure that out. But they have great customer service. The folks that work over there are fantastic. If you have a problem, you have a question, you need an issue, give them a call, send them an email, whatever, and they usually respond within a few hours. They're fantastic customer service, great competitive prices, quality products. Give them a try. Tell them the Nomad Tech Project sent you, and you won't get anything off necessarily, but you know they'll really appreciate driving the business. I know I've seen TK Bay, our man TK has gone. I've seen Steve Litchfield. He's did some extreme skins. He's really like it. And
Dalavon.
Delavon Digitals. I mean, yeah. So they're good quality. And even if you're in the United States, don't feel bad. They got you covered. You know, they do ship internationally, and I think that's not too terrible, right? And
No.
you got to wait a couple extra days because, you know, you're not exactly down the street. You're not in their same postal code, but, you know, they'll take care of you. And they're fantastic. Give them a try. And I promise you won't be disappointed. It's good quality stuff, and they have a lot of colors, and they got your phones covered. So,
that's the other thing, Sam. The Nomad Tech Project has got a giveaway.
We have a giveaway.
Did you see Lenny's tweet?
I did. So what are we giving away exactly? Because I saw the tweet, but I didn't read it much. I was a little busy.
Let me grab it again.
We'll get to the details on what we're giving away here at the Nomad Tech Project YouTube
and what you have to do. So I can't remember.
Up,
my memory's too bad.
Follow us, right? And then something. I thought there was a couple of conditions, right?
Yeah. The conditions are as follows. Let me get past all the tweets I sent recently. Where is it? Gone. Can't find it.
Now that's a good idea, Aditya. And yes, when that skin comes in, I will wait to skin it until the show. I will skin my shit live on the Nomad Tech Project podcast live stream.
Now that's a show you don't want to miss, guys.
That one you want to make sure you tell your friends about, because that's going to be some quality stuff right there. At least for 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, so what do we got?
All right, number 1, follow Lenny Bonds and True322 on Twitter, or X rather. Like this post and tag 2 friends in the comment section. And 2 participants will win the prize. So there's going to be 2 up for grabs.
Okay.
And they're the True 301s.
Cool.
They look pretty cool.
And yes, they are definitely deserving of support. And yes, Ibrahim,
the open ear wireless
installation, and you put it online, they will make fun of you. That is a thing that will happen. I got a PS4 skin. I messed up the 4 on it. I don't know how I did. I guess I accidentally trimmed it wrong, and I put it on there. And as sure as shit, I put it on there. I'm so excited about my extreme skin, and they said, "Hey, you fucked up the 4. Basically, you suck, right?" And it's like, yeah, didn't follow our instructions to install, did you? And I said, "No, I didn't." And I'm an idiot. So yes, they're definitely a good group of guys and gals.
Sam, can you make me a promise?
What's that?
No foreskins on this show, okay?
Right, no more foreskins. There you go. Just skin your shit. Hashtag skin your shit. Extremeskins.co.uk. Check them out. Tell them we sent you, and then give them some love. Buy some stuff. And if you have ideas, I'm sure if you send some emails about color ideas or phone, I mean, I couldn't believe that they actually had skins for OG Surface Duo and the Duo 2. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I was get the level one.
Yeah, I still have it on my OG Duo. I think it's the lavender, I guess is.
I love the textures.
Oh yeah, it's great, and that OG Duo has never seen a case, and I'm kind of wanting to rock my Fold 5 without a case. I know it's crazy, but I got insurance. So I know. I just don't. I don't like the fact that you can't. I mean, I love the S Pen having this, but I just don't like the fact you can't see the color. And I love. What's funny is the color is almost bay on this, right? That light kind of blue. I just think it's a really sharp color. And I ran. This is how I ran my Pixel today. I just like this. I didn't put a case on because if I break this, it's $100. What do I care, right?
I was saying, you know, talking about insurance, right? This is not an advert. I signed up to Monzo today.
Monzo, is that in the UK? Is it like a third party insurance carrier?
It's like thing? It's an online bank.
Okay,
right? But there's no fees when you use the card abroad.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Because you're coming to the US. Well, it's Hawaii. It's not exactly the US. It's kind of sort
of. I'm going to go to Seattle as well. Going to Seattle for a bit.
You're going to be in Seattle. What, about 12 hours, 11 hours on the way over? That'd be cool. Yeah. So you'd be.
But so I got it. But I got the you pay £15 a month. But with that, you get travel insurance and phone insurance.
Oh, that's kind of slick. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
It's not bad. And you get a metal card.
Oh, well, that's cool because you want to be a baller like that. You get a mellow card.
Yeah.
So yeah, and apparently you're not the only one. Apparently, our good friend Dan, he uses Monzo. He really likes it. So cool. Yeah, I wonder if they have a comparable thing in the U.S. for people who travel overseas. I wonder if they have something like
It
that.
must do.
They probably.
It's
So yeah, that's good.
called,
So yeah,
Mickey Monzo.
Mick Monzo.
Mick Monzo.
Yeah. So
It's called Fonzo. Hey.
Monzo. Hey. Hey. So, anyways, so you will be traveling, but guess what? We will have a show next Sunday.
We will.
We will. We're gonna go early, right? Because Joe's gotta get up the next day because he's gotta fly out. He's gonna fly out early. So, and we should have. I already talked to him today. The captain will be on. Captain.
The captain.
Not Captain Two Phones. Maybe someday, but no.
He's bringing his log with him.
Right, our captain. Andrew Fat Pro is going to be on, and he's going to have his. Do you see the picture of his new kind of his jacket?
Yeah, it looks wicked.
That's slick, man. I really like it. That's really nice. It's going to be cool. So yeah, we'll have Andrew on the show. We'll talk phones. I'm sure we'll talk some gaming. We'll talk all sorts of good stuff, some Star Trek, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Who knows where the show will go?
Yeah, and also hopefully Joe will get to meet some of his favorite people. Like I said, there's some pretty heavy hitters going to that Snapdragon event. I mean, there should be. So we're expecting Joe to do some networking and get us out there and let people know about the Nomad Tech Project podcast.
Yeah, I was going to get a T-shirt made up. I'm cutting it pretty fine now, aren't I?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get one there. Just okay. There's
still time. I'm cutting it fine.
Right. He's not got much time left to go. So, but we got some time, but it'll be good. Like I said, I'm looking forward to him. And honestly, if he was flying anywhere closer, I would fly out and meet him, and we would do an actual show, me and Joe live together, actually in a show.
Oh, how good would that be?
That would be fantastic, man. I really look forward to that. So if we ever get a chance to do that logistically, where it doesn't cost me and Joe an arm and a leg, and a foot and a head, and all those kind of things, we'll definitely set that up because that would be a lot of fun. Because I would look forward to that. It would be fantastic to do a live show together and that kind of thing.
It would be amazing.
Or it would be fantastic. So we're at 1 hour and 16 minutes, and that's not too bad for just an impromptu show. That when I had told everybody that we weren't going to do a show, so I really appreciate everybody swinging on by because I'm sure they were getting ready to, do the thing they normally do with their week and just kind of look forward to next week. But we got it in. We squeezed the show in, and
we did.
And it makes me happy. It makes me happy,
and also make me happy.
Also to see all the fine, awesome individuals jump in the chat and really do what they always do, which is participate and ask questions and make fun of me, especially Ditya. seems to be a time-honored tradition for Mr. Anil to make fun of me, and that's fine. I really appreciate that. So, and even though he is doing it, I know it's from a place of love, and it actually warms my heart because that means he cares. It does. They're going to make fun of you. It means they kind of care a little bit, right? So I always like that. Yeah, and Shark, they are having an event, and Joe gets to go, so that's kind of cool. What happened,
amazingly,
right? Yeah, it's fantastic, man. So, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a good time, and hopefully Joe takes some good pictures. And now he's got a proper, the 8 Pro. It'll be a fantastic thing. Reach out to some people, get to hobnob, and enjoy seeing some Snapdragon stuff, and maybe talk about that next time we discuss it when he comes back from the trip. And we're looking forward to that. So it's kind of cool. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a good time. So, anything else we want to cover, Joe, before we head off for the week? And and like I said, next week we'll be on with Andrew. It'll be a lot of fun too.
I don't know really. No, I think we're good to leave there. I'm actually shattered, but I don't regret this at all because I love this. Like you say, all these cool people will come and join us. It's brilliant,
right? And just like Jimmy said, love a good old hobnob with a cuppa.
Oh, absolutely. I do love a hobnob. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
do you have hobnobs in the US?
I don't think so. I'm not sure what that is. I've never heard of it.
It's a biscuit. It's a good biscuit.
Wait. We're talking like a cookie biscuit, like a scone kind of like
no.
Biscuit. We're talking, or like actually like a American kind of biscuit where it's
like a Dunkin' tea type biscuit.
Oh yeah, okay, I gotcha.
Well, I don't dunk them, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like we have biscottis. I like to dunk those in my coffee.
Yeah, look up a hobnob. That's your homework.
Yeah, we don't have digestives. First of all, that's just. I'm sorry, that name's awful. I mean, the digestives.
It's a bad
I know
name, to be fair.
it's a terrible name. Come on now. Let's. I realize it's kind of like it goes with the England thing. I get it. It's a UK thing. I understand. But I mean, seriously, digestives. Who's gonna eat that fucking disgusting sounding thing? It just sounds terrible. It's scum. Yeah, it's a scum.
To be fair,
Yeah, no, you
hobnob.
know what? You know what? I'm not British, so I know it's a scum.
Biscotti. It's nice, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a scum. I get it. It's cool.
Scone.
Scone. That's what I call it.
Scone. Scone.
I don't know. He's making fun. I mean,
Tomato,
Jimmy says I'm
tomato.
saying it right. The way you pronounce scone. Oh yeah, he's making fun of me because I'm saying it the way I say it. I will tell you that we get you a proper American pork gravy and biscuits and gravy. You need to get that. If you get a chance to get that, try it out.
Biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's look it up. It's pretty good. I know the kids do it. They had these kids doing it. They're like primary school kids or like private school kids doing it, and they love that shit. They thought it was great. It looks gross. It looks terrible, especially if you're British. It's not gonna look right. But yeah, you should see hobnob. There's a chocolate version of hobnobs.
Yeah, I like chocolate hobnobs. Yeah,
it's an Odie biscuit. Okay, great for Duncan. Gotcha. Okay, I'm getting it. I'm
Sam, once you start eating a packet of hobnobs, though, it's hard to stop.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I mean, like I said, I'm tracking. I can try these hobnobs, man. I'm all about that shit. It's all good, especially anything you can dunk in tea or coffee or anything.
We'll get some shipped out to you.
Absolutely, digestives and custard creams. Guess it's digestives, man. That name's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get behind that. You can have that name and call them something else. Are they really for digestion? Is that really what it's supposed to be for? Is that what it's? Because that's what it sounds like it's for.
We had bourbons.
No.
Or pink wafers.
That's why I got to come to UK because I got to really sit down and really
try a load of biscuits.
Yeah, hobnobs and all that shit, and the proper English, all that fish and chips.
Joe, quickly, do you know the difference between a biscuit and a cake?
No, well, I mean, a biscuit is like, I guess, flat. Cake's more it's like more.
So when a biscuit's going off, it goes soft. When a cake's going off, it goes hard.
Cakes go hard. That'd be a good name for a band. Just
yeah, that would. Yeah,
cakes go hard. Yeah, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, right? Should do that. That's if we ever get out of the podcasting business, we start our own metal band. That's the name of our band. Cakes go hard.
Cakes go hard.
It won't make any sense unless you're British. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know. Like cakes go hard, mate. Yeah, right." It's like we'd be like, "Cakes go hard. What the fuck does that mean? If you leave it out on the counter for a day or two, then it gets solid. I guess that's
the first album will be Biscuits Go Soft.
Right, biscuits go soft, cakes go hard, dude. That'd be fucking hilarious. We would be, yeah. I'm being canceled in the UK. Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. You know what? Yeah, I'm still showing up anyway, so you can't keep me out of the fucking country. I'm still trying to show up. No way. Hey, besides, do you expect me to come to the UK? I mean, hey, I'm down with the whole cultural thing. I'm totally okay with it. But can you imagine me going to the UK and just acting like I'm not British? So why would I act like that, right? I would act like this maniac American, right? Because that's what you guys think we do anyway. So why not just lean into it? Fuck it. I don't care. That'd be good. That'd be good times. How does Sam's mind work? Good luck. My wife's been married to me almost 11 years and she hasn't figured it out yet. And I'm kind of guessing, right? Like
that's vice versa though, right?
Right. And I will tell you, this should show you how my mind works. So we've decided at work, I work on an application. So, just like Android, we've done the opposite, right? So Android used to call them, eclair and cupcake and all that shit, right? And pot, well, we decided we don't like numbered releases. So we went to names. And the names we decided to go with are stars, right? So the last one we had Beetlejuice and we had, all those kind of things, right? The current next build, the current one we're on is Polaris, which is cool, right? So the next one is called Canopus, right? Like the star. It's a star, Canopus, right? You look it up. Canopus. Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, every time I hear that in meetings, I hear can of piss. And so I told my boss, I said, let's just call it bucket of piss or like cup of piss, right? Because that's more, and he's like, what are you talking about? I said, don't you hear that, Canopus? And then the other person said, no, I heard cannabis, like weed. I was like, Jesus, that's even worse.
Yeah, right? That's what I heard, cannabis.
Right, cannabis, right? So that shows you where my mind works. The whole time I'm in these meetings, I'm not keeping it serious. I'm thinking of cannabis. Yeah, that's a thing. So good luck. I have no idea. Anyway,
they're linked in a way, aren't they? Cannabis and cannabis.
Yeah, I think so. One's a bucket of urine, the other one's weed you get high with.
They're
But
linked
okay,
because if you're checking someone a drug test, you normally take a can of
right.
piss.
Oh, that's the yeah. Or you can do a blood test, but yeah, that works out pretty good. So that just goes to show you, to Ibrahim's question, how does my mind work? I don't know yet. It's been
I
48
think
years. I haven't figured it out yet. but it's a work in progress. Let's just put it that way. So
Yep.
on that note, we'll go ahead and end the stream. Thanks a lot for everybody coming on. I realize it's last minute. I realize if you were watching this, the X post, you would have saw that we weren't doing it today. It was kind of last minute. So, hey, man, thanks for you
Thanks for
jumping
joining us.
in and being awesome like you guys always are. And thanks
You
for
guys rock.
everything you do. You guys rock, and we love you guys. And we'll be back next Sunday with Andrew, and we'll have a good time. We'll have another chat. Again, enjoy your tech. If you got any new tech, enjoy it. Be excellent to each other, and we will catch you all next Sunday. I think we're going to go off at 2 p.m., 8 p.m., just to help Joe out, because that way he doesn't get all tired and shit. So,
Yeah.
for myself, for Joe Hickey, thanks for tuning into the Nomad Tech Project. Download these after. I'll post it probably later tonight. And we love you guys, and we will catch you next week. And enjoy your tech, and we love you. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.